Hi guys, welcome back to Flit Finest. From a state border crossing beer run to a most common action, the characters in these features have little use for small talk and prefer to lead with their feet and fists. With denouements set in exotic locations and redemption arcs that eschew the erudition in favor of pure physical effort, this list of the best action films currently streaming on Netflix has something for everyone on your couch to enjoy. We've already covered the first part of this video series. You can find the link in the description below. We hope that this selection will be useful, and everyone will find something new to watch. So let's not waste any time and begin. Number 10. Hunt for the Wilder People. As he proved conclusively in his foray into the MCU, Taika Waititi is unparalleled at mixing and matching tones. Here, a shaggy adventure tale about a delinquent foster boy and a taciturn New Zealand loner becomes all at once hilarious, riot, and wrenching as the mismatched and reluctant duo find themselves on the run in the wilderness after a series of misfortunes and misunderstandings. The great Sam Neill and Deadpool 2's Julian Dennison make a team for the ages as the unlikely fugitives dodge cops, social workers, trigger-happy hunters, and the occasional wild boar, all while Waititi parcels out the development of their inevitable, grudging bond with the deftest counter touch. An adventure in the wild bristling with tensely witty set pieces and anchored by two exceptional performances, the film is unendingly charming without ever crossing into unrealistically rosy territories. Number 9. Kate. Imagine if John Wick had a daughter, and you'd evoke someone akin to Kate, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, a raging bull assassin and a one-sniper operating in Tokyo. When she's injected with acute radiation poisoning caused by polonium-204, Kate races against the clock, armed with less than 24 hours to unmask her assailant and deliver some lethal payback. Bursting with candy-colored visuals, sensational stunts, brutal carnage, and Winstead's organic badassery, one that echoes her role as the huntress in Birds of Prey, Kate delivers as a proper revenge thriller. For Ito's critic, the film is red meat storytelling, all broad outlines and crunched bones, but there's a visual wit and visceral energy to it that other recent efforts struggle to find. Number 8. Lucy. It is estimated that humans are able to access 10% of our brain's potential. In the sci-fi action film Lucy, kidnapping, drug trafficking, and savage circumstances collide to give Lucy Scarlett Johansson, an American student living in Taiwan, access to 28% of her brain, and counting. Featuring the signature, stylized violence of French director Luc Besson, the film is presented at high speeds and alongside imagery designed to make you question your sobriety. There's no debating that the film remains firmly in the shallow end of the character development pool, but Lucy makes up for it with stunt work, pacing, and aesthetic. A non-Marvel or DC superhero story for the technology era, Lucy starts as a cautionary tale and ends in the realm of the triply cerebral, but steadily summons what one Ito contributor describes as genuine bizarro excitement. Number 6. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. When Mr. and Mrs. Smith premiered in 2005, it was preceded by its reputation. 5 months earlier, Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston announced their separation after 7 years of marriage that was allegedly initiated after Pitt met and fell in love with his co-star, Angelina Jolie, during production on this flick. The celebrity buzz was more than enough to coax audiences into theaters, and once they got there, they were greeted by a film that was half action movie, half therapy session. The story follows an unhappy couple, Pitt and Jolie, both of whom were undercover as assassins working for competing companies, and both of whom have received an assignment to kill the other. Screenwriter Simon Kinberg was inspired by the 5-step process employed in couples counseling, a template he used to help ground the Smiths' otherwise exceptional lives into something far more relatable. Thanks to the explosive chemistry between Pitt and Jolie, and the powerful weaponry utilized by their characters in their race to outmaneuver death, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is the very definition of an old-school summer blockbuster. Number 5. The Old Guard. Immortality comes with a price as seen in The Old Guard. Andy Charlize Theron is part of a group of centuries-old warriors who have been gifted the power to heal from a wound. Unable to die, this team utilizes their talents by working as mercenaries for various mortal employers. Are they heroes or villains? It depends on what century you're living in, But when one particular mission exposes their extraordinary abilities, the group must band together to avoid capture by Big Pharma, who hopes to study, replicate, and monetize their gifts. Aided by the group's newest member, the U.S. Marine Kiki Lane, Andy and her team fight for their freedom in this action-packed film based on an acclaimed series of graphic novels. There it is in peak fighting form, even as her character begins to slow after centuries of regenerating. While character backstory and world building take a backseat to stunt sequences, you can rest easy in the knowledge that a sequel is already in the works. Number 4. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Strap on your googly eyes and wiggle those hot dog fingers because Everything Everywhere All at Once finally made its way to Netflix. Blending multiple genres like sci-fi, romance, action, comedy, and family drama, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert's 7-time Oscar-winning epic homes in on Evelyn Wang, Michelle Yeoh, a Chinese-American immigrant worn down by her laundromat business, her hypercritical father, James Hong, the unrelenting IRS, and so forth. But when she's called on to thwart the all-powerful Jobu Tupaki from obliterating the multiverse, Evelyn discovers the ability to roam through multiple dimensions and collect some kick-ass combat skills. For a film that embodies the debate of existentialism versus nihilism, there's no finer way to tackle the meaning of life than to consider every absurd scenario imaginable. From a ratatouille-like raccoon to a bagel-shaped weapon of mass destruction to a fight scene hinged on a butt plug. Yet amidst the non-structural circus, the film grounds itself with a family love story, elevated by groundbreaking, award-winning performances from Yeoh, Kei Kwan, and Stephanie Su. Number 3. The Equalizer 3. In the third entry of the Equalizer saga, Denzel Washington's Robert McCall finds solace in the simplicity of sipping tea along the Amalfi Coast and beating the living hell out of those foolish enough to cross his path. Turning away from his life as an indestructible DIA officer, the former Marine seeks sanctuary from the scars of his violent past in a quaint Italian town, but is disrupted once his newfound friends face threats from the Camorra, a local mafia-like group. This propels Robert back into action, igniting a carnage-soaked battle for their freedom as well as his own. While treading formulaic ground for action sequels, The Equalizer 3 also provides everything you could possibly ask for: a tension-laced opening, squeaky clean pacing/editing, picturesque mise-en-scène, and heavily stylized combat. Number 2. Cold Pursuit. Liam Neeson has established himself in Hollywood as the purveyor of characters not to be trifled with. In Cold Pursuit, he once again plays a father seeking vengeance for wrongs perpetrated upon his family. Only this time, he lives in a Colorado resort town called Kehoe, where he works as a snowplow driver. What distinguishes Cold Pursuit from other offerings of Neeson's arsenal of justice-hunting characters is the humor inherent in the film's script. While not quite a comedy, the movie likes to veer into Tarantino territory, adoring fight scenes with bon mots and clever dialogue. The result could have left viewers cold, but Neeson and Laura Dern's performances as grieving parents and Hans-Peter Mullen's fast-moving direction help ground a film that Ida's critic describes as the daffiest and most delirious of Neeson's recent work. Also starring Emmy Rossum as a local cop, Cold Pursuit is a thriller that doesn't take long to heat up. Number 1. Baby Driver. An action crime movie 2 decades in the making, director Edgar Wright puts the pedal to the metal with Baby Driver, transforming what could have been just another heist film into a stylistic masterpiece with soundtrack to match. The movie follows a young getaway driver named Baby Ansel Elgort, whose attempts to extricate himself from a life of crime go awry after he is forced to participate in a post office robbery. Baby is a fantastic character, a young southern kid with tinnitus and a tragic past, surrounded by violent sadists, and the film is part mixtape, part love story, and part Reservoir Dogs-style murder romp. Ida's critic writes that Baby Driver is a candy-colored action movie opera, where the music doesn't just accompany the action, it fuels it. Well, this is it. Share your movie impressions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more upcoming videos. Bye.